Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pada hari ini, guru kami, guru 6, akan membentangkan semua soalan assignment yang telah kami berjaya selesaikan untuk subjek Electromagnetic Field Teori 1. Subjek ini dikelolakan oleh Prof. T.S. Dr. Muhammad Saiful bin Abdul Karim. Guru kami terdiri daripada 4 orang ahli. Yang pertama iaitu saya, Muhammad Zamri bin Yunus, PL 24050, akan membentangkan soalan 1, 3 dan juga 7. Yang kedua, Muhammad Faiz Hakimi bin Muhammad Syahril, PL 24157, akan membentangkan soalan 4 dan juga 5. Yang ketiga, Ahmad Aiman Asyukri bin Ismail, EL 24164, akan membentangkan soalan 8, 9 dan juga 10. Yang terakhir, Abdul Hadi bin Abdul Aziz, EL 22036, akan membentangkan soalan 2 dan juga 6. Berdasarkan soalan 1 di sebelah, kita perlu mencari koordinat untuk setiap poin yang ada pada gambar rajah itu. Setiap poin mengandungi R, theta dan juga V sebab dia dalam bentuk spherical. Untuk theta dan juga V, kita perlu tukarkan dia daripada degree kepada radian. Untuk tukar kepada degree ke radian, kita perlu darab pi per 180. Sebagai contoh, 60 darab pi per 180, dapatlah jawapan dia pi per 3. Supaya dah dapat koordinat untuk semua poin-poin ni, bolehlah kita menyelesaikan soalan-soalan yang ada untuk soalan 1 ini. Untuk yang pertama, cek panjang CG. Untuk cek panjang CG, kita perlu integrate pi per 3 pi per 4 R sin theta di pi A vektor V. Sebab kita gunakan nilai pi per 3 dan juga pi per 4, ialah dua nilai itu saja yang berubah dan itu yang kita perlu cari. Supaya itu kita selesaikan integrate tersebut dan dapat jawapan dia 1.309. Yang kedua, B, cari panjang AD. AD di theta integrate pi per 2 dengan pi per 3 A vektor theta. Sebab apa kita guna pi per 2 dan juga pi per 3? Sebab nilai tu saja yang berubah. Dan seterusnya kita selesaikan integrate tersebut dan dapat jawapan dia 1.571. Yang ketiga, surface area of BCGF. Untuk surface ni, kita anggap macam kita nak cari untuk luas bagi segi 4 sama. Kita perlu darab panjang dan juga lebar dia. Untuk surface BCGF ni, kita darabkan R di theta dan juga R sin theta di pi. Dan seterusnya kita integratekan dia. Selepas tu kita selesaikan integration tersebut dan dapat jawapan dia 3.2725. Untuk surface area of EFGH dia sama juga dengan BCGFID, yang mana untuk EFGH ni kita integrate serta kita menerapkan DR dan juga detektor, dan kemudian kita integratekan sekali dia. Lepas tu kita selesaikan integration tersebut dan dapat jawapan 4.189. Yang terakhir, volume of the project. Kita gunakan semua yang ada yang telah pun dinyatakan, iaitu darab DR, darab asin theta d-phi dan juga RD theta. Kemudian kita integratekan sekali, dapat selesaikan integration tersebut dan akhirnya dapat jawapan 4.276.
Untuk soalan 6 satu Roman, soalan minta kita buktikan bahawa persamaan untuk kolom law adalah yang macam dia minta. Okay, first kita tengok apa yang berubah, iaitu DL. So DL yang berubah kat sini ialah DZ dekat pasti Z. So kita assume yang berubah itu Z prime. So DL sama dengan DZ prime. Okey, rho L iaitu 4 pi. So untuk vektor dia, observation point ialah, untuk vektor dan magnitude kita gunakan observation point iaitu 100 dan initial point ialah 00 Z prime. Kemudian lepas kita dapatkan magnitude dia, kita dapatkan AR. Lepas kita akan dapatkan AR, kita masukkan dalam formula column law, iaitu integration rho L dl over 4 pi epsilon naught R square AR. So lepas kita masukkan dalam formula tersebut dan kita setkan limit dia iaitu 0 hingga H untuk Z prime. So kita integrate terhadap dz dan kita hasilkan integration AX dan Z prime. Kemudian kita lepas integrate kita masukkan limit dia. Kemudian kita akan dapat seperti yang soalan tu minta. Okey, untuk seterusnya, untuk 6 2 Roman, dia minta kita cari F. Untuk cari F, kita sudah ada equation E, Q sudah diberi, so kita masukkan nilai H. Untuk nilai H kita masukkan dalam formula tadi, H sama dengan 4. Kemudian dapat nilai E. Untuk dapatkan F, E itu harus didarab dengan Q. F sama dengan Q darab E. So Q yang E yang kita dapat tadi darab dengan 2 mikrocoulomb. Kemudian kita dapat F. Itu untuk 6 Roman. 6 2 Roman.
Seterusnya, saya akan menyambung untuk soalan nombor 3. Soalan 3 ni dia ada 2 charge, iaitu Q1 dan juga Q2. Q1 dan juga Q2 ni dia telah pun diberi koordinat, yang mana Q1 terletak pada 5, 0 dan juga -4. Manakala Q2 terletak pada 3, 0 dan juga 0. Q1 charge dia tidak dibagi, manakala Q2 charge dia diberi 3 nanocoulomb. Untuk soalan ni, untuk soalan 3 1 Roman, dia suruh cari electric field intensity atau E bar, yang mana kita gunakan rumus yang ada dalam appendix. yang koordinat 6, 0 dan juga 5 tu kita gunakan sebagai OP, iaitu observation point. Manakala koordinat yang terletak pada setiap charge yang ada tadi kita gunakan sebagai IP, iaitu inertial point. So untuk setiap OP dengan IP ni kita gunakan untuk cari jarak untuk vektor ni, iaitu R1 dan juga R2. Untuk R1 OP tolak dengan IP, dapat jawapan dia AX tambah YZ. Manakala R2 kita tolak OP dengan IP dia, dapat jawapan 3AX tambah 3 tambah 5AZ. Seterusnya kita cari magnitud dia. Magnitudnya kita dapatkan daripada jarak yang kita dah cari tadi tu, iaitu 1/2 tambah 0/2 tambah 9/2. Dapat jawapan punca kuasa 2 82. Manakala R2 dapat jawapan daripada yang atas tu sama dengan punca kuasa 2 34. Seterusnya kita cari AR. AR sama dengan R bar per untuk magnitud tu. Dapat jawapan untuk AR1 AX tambah 9AZ per punca kuasa 2 82. Manakala AR2 3AX tambah 5AZ per punca kuasa 2 34. Sebab kita perlu cari semua ni ialah kita akan gunakan ke dalam rumus yang ada dalam appendix yang telah pun diberi, iaitu E sama dengan Q per 4 pi epsilon R kuasa 2 AR. Sebab itu kita masukkan yang telah pun kita cari tu dalam formula electric field intensity tadi. ET sama dengan E1 tambah E bar 2. Kenapa ET ialah E bar ET tu ialah nilai untuk hasil tambah semua electric field intensity. Electric field intensity untuk hasil tambah kedua-dua electric field intensity tu dia tiada, maka kita buat kosong. Untuk soalan ni dia sebenarnya dia cakap has no Z component. So dalam rumus yang telah pun kita masukkan tadi, untuk komponen untuk komponen AX kita boleh cancel out sebab dia nak dalam soalan AZ. Untuk AZ iaitu Z komponen saja. So kita selesaikan dapatlah nilai untuk charge 1 bagi electric field intensity Q1. Seterusnya 3 loman, iaitu dia suruh cari force dekat koordinat 6, 0 dan juga 5. Dia sama macam yang electric field intensity tadi. Cuma kali ni kita boleh kita kena cancel out komponen Z pula. Yang ni untuk R1 dengan R1 bar dan juga R2 bar. Kita boleh gunakan nilai yang ada pada electric field intensity tadi beserta dengan magnetic dia tadi. Tapi untuk formula dia, kita guna nilai force yang ada dalam appendix tu, iaitu F sama dengan Q1 Q darab Q2 per 4 pi epsilon R kuasa 2 AR. Lepas tu kita masukkan ke dalam dia punya formula tadi, tapi kita cancel out untuk AZ punya komponen sebab dia cakap has no add component. So kita selesaikan dia, dapat jawapan Q1 sama dengan negatif 33.709 nanocoulomb.
Today I will be walking you through 3 distinct physical problems involving the calculation of total charge. We will looking at 3 different scenarios, which is a one-dimensional line charge, a two-dimensional surface charge on a flat disk, and a three-dimensional volume charge with a solid sphere. Let us dive right into the first problem. Okay, for the first problem, we are looking at a tiny wire stretched along the x-axis from 0 to 5 meter. The linear charge density is given by the function rho sub L equal to x plus 3 nanocoulomb per meter. To find the total charge, Q, we need to integrate the linear charge density along the length of the wire. Q equal the integral from 0 to 5 of the quantity to x plus 3 with respect to x. When we integrate to x, we get x squared, and integrating 3 gives us 3x. So our evaluate function is x squared plus 3x from 0 to 5. Plug in the upper limit, we get 5 squared plus 3 times 5, which is 25 plus 15, equaling 40. Subtracting the lower limit yields 0. Therefore, the total charge enclosed in the wire is exactly 40 nanocoulomb. Moving to second problem, we have a flat circular disk with a radius of 2 meter on the xy plane. Because we are dealing with circular geometry, we use cylindrical coordinate. Our first charge density is rho sub s equal rho square times the cosine of phi. To find the total charge, we use a double surface integral. In cylindrical coordinate, the differential surface area element is rho times d rho times d phi. Let us set up our double integral with limit. The radius rho goes from 0 to 2, and the azimuthal angle phi goes around a full circle from 0 to 2 phi. We can separate this into two distinct integrals. Integrating the radial part gives us rho to the power of 4 divided by 4. Evaluate from 0 to 2, which equal 4. However, look at the angular integral. Integrating the cosine of phi given us the sine of phi. Evaluate from 0 to phi, since the sine of 2 phi minus the sine of 0 is 0 minus 0. The entire expression multiplied by 0. So, despite the charge density varying across the disk, the positive and negative charge perfectly cancel each other, leaving a total charge of 0 nanocoulomb. Our final problem step into 3 dimension. We have a solid sphere with a radius of 1 meter centered at the origin. We are giving the total charge Q equal 4V divided by 3 columns, and we need to find the unknown constant K in the volume charge density function, which is K times R square. Since it is a sphere, we use spherical coordinate. The differential element is R square times the sine of theta times dr times dr d theta times d phi. Our limit area R from 0 to 1, theta from 0 to phi, and phi from 0 to 2 phi. We can pull the constant K out and separate the variable into 3 integrals. Let us evaluate each part. First, the radial part, integrating R to the power of 4 given R to the power of 5 divided by 5. Evaluate from 0 to 1. This is 150. Second, the theta part, integrating the sine of theta gives negative cosine of theta. Evaluate from 2 phi. This is a 1 plus 1, which equal to. Third, the phi part. The integral of d phi from 0 to 2 phi is simplified 2 phi. Multiplying this together, we get Q equal K times 150 times 2 times 2 phi, which simplify to 4 p times K divided by 5. Since we are given that Q equal 4 p divided by 3, we set them equal to each other. The 4p cancel out on the both side, and multiplying both sides by 5 give us our final, which is K equal 5 third column per cube meter. I am going to explain how to solve question 5, where we need to find the total charge inside a specific wedge shape. The question given us the volume charge density, which is 4 rho square z cosine phi nanocoulomb per cube meter. We are also given the boundary limit for the shape. The radius rho is from 0 to 2. The angle phi is from 0 to p over 4, and the higher z is from 0 to 1. Because we are using the variable rho, phi, and z, we know we must use the cylindrical coordinate system to solve this problem. To find the total charge Q, we need to integrate the charge density over the entire volume. In cylindrical coordinate, the small volume element is written as rho, d phi, dz. When we substitute our value into the formula, we multiply the rho from the volume element with the rho square from the charge density. They combine to give us rho cube in our equation. Since our limit are constant number and the term can be separate, we can split the triple integral into 3 simple parts. One part for rho, one for phi, and one for z. This makes the calculation much easier to handle. Let us integrate them step by step. First, integrating 4 rho cube gives us rho to power of 4. Second, integrating cosine phi gives us sine phi. Third, integrate z given us gives z square over 2. Now we plug in the boundary limit for each integrate part. For the rho section, 2 the power of 4 minus 0 give us 16. For the phi section, the sine of phi over 4 is the square root of 2 over 2, and the sine of 0 is 0. So we are left with the square root of 2 over 2. For the Z section, plug in the 1 and 0 give us 1/2. Finally, we just simplify these three results together. We multiply 16 by the square root of 2/2 and then by 1/2. This is simplified nicely to 4 times square root of 2. Because of the original, the charge density was given in nanocoulomb per cube meter, our final answer will be in nanocoulomb. Therefore, the charge inside the wedge is 4 times square root of 2 nanocoulomb. Thank you.
Untuk soalan 6 satu Roman, soalan minta kita buktikan bahawa persamaan untuk kolom law adalah yang macam dia minta. Okay, first kita tengok apa yang berubah, iaitu DL. So DL yang berubah kat sini ialah DZ dekat pasti Z. So kita assume yang berubah itu Z prime. So DL sama dengan DZ prime. Okay, rho L iaitu 4 pi. So untuk vektor dia, observation point ialah, untuk vektor dan magnitude kita gunakan observation point iaitu 100 dan initial point ialah 00 Z prime. Kemudian lepas kita dapatkan magnitude dia, kita dapatkan AR. Lepas kita akan dapatkan AR, kita masukkan dalam formula column law, iaitu integration rho L dl over 4 pi epsilon naught R square AR. So lepas kita masukkan dalam formula tersebut dan kita setkan limit dia iaitu 0 hingga H untuk Z prime. So kita integrate terhadap dz dan kita hasilkan integration AX dan Z prime. Kemudian kita lepas integrate kita masukkan limit dia. Kemudian kita akan dapat seperti yang soalan tu minta. Okey, untuk seterusnya, untuk 6 2 Roman, dia minta kita cari F. Untuk cari F, kita sudah ada equation E. Q sudah diberi, so kita masukkan nilai H. Untuk nilai H kita masukkan dalam formula tadi. H sama dengan 4. Kemudian dapat nilai E. Untuk dapatkan F, E itu harus didarab dengan Q. F sama dengan Q darab E. So Q yang E yang kita dapat tadi darab dengan 2 mikrocoulomb. Kemudian kita dapat F. Itu untuk 6 Roman. 6 2 Roman.
Saya akan menyambung soalan 7. Soalan 7 ni dia berbunyi, a uniform charge of 15 microcoulomb per meter is formed on a loop described by x square plus z square equal to 25 on the y equal to 0 plane. Determine the force exert on a 3 millicoulomb point charge at 0, 5 and 0. Kalau tengok pada jawapannya saya buat, saya ada lukis untuk paksi untuk 3 dimensi, untuk bentuk 3 dimensi, iaitu ada paksi X, Z dan juga Y. 15 mikrocoulomb tu saya beranggapan ukuran satu bulatan lengkap untuk charge, untuk uniform charge tersebut. Saya anggap itu sebagai rho L. Poin yang telah dinyatakan iaitu 0, 5, 0. Saya letak pada paksi Y. Ia adalah sebabkan 5 itu terletak pada paksi Y. Untuk samaan X kuasa 2 tambah Z kuasa 2 sama dengan 25. Itu merupakan persamaan bagi center at origin untuk satu spiral. Yang mana persamaan asal dia X kuasa 2 tambah Y kuasa 2 tambah Z kuasa 2 equal to R kuasa 2. R kuasa 2 tu ialah radius. So, saya menganggapkan radius dia ialah 5. 5 itu saya letakkan sebagai row. Sebab saya buat garisan dari bulatan tu ke titik OP tu, ia adalah kerana saya menganggapkan itu ada sebagai cylindrical. Disebabkan dia cylindrical, maka saya buat jarak R dia sama dengan OP tolak dengan IP dengan koordinat 0, V 5 tolak 5, V 0. Ia disebabkan 5 tu sebagai dia punya kedudukan di paksi Y untuk IP. Manakala 5 untuk OP tu sebagai radius yang ada dalam bulatan tersebut. Lepas tu saya cari dia punya magnitude, dapat jawapan punca kuasa 2 50. Lepas tu saya masukkan ke dalam formula AR per R bar per R sama dia punya jawapan negatif 5 AP tambah 5 AY per punca kuasa 50. Sebab dalam koordinat tu 5, kenapa dalam koordinat dekat R sama dengan OP tolak IP, V dia sama ialah kerana V tu berada kosong sehingga ke 2 pi. So, secara tak langsung V tu kekal saja. Lepas dah dapat AR tu, masukkan ke dalam formula untuk Coulomb law yang ada dalam appendix tadi, iaitu E integrate dengan rho L darab dl per 4 pi epsilon R kuasa 2 AR. Setelah itu dah darab dengan AR tu, negatif 5 AP tu kita cancel out. Maknanya kita tak perlukan dia, kita boleh abaikan nilai tersebut. Setelah itu selesaikan dia punya integration, dapat jawapan untuk E sama dengan 59.9 kilo volt per meter. Setelah itu cari dia punya force F sama dengan QE. Dapat jawapan 139.7 Newton.
Assalamualaikum, I am Shukri, EL24161. I will be presenting the solutions for question 8, 9, and 10, which revolves around surface charge and the principle of superposition. For question 8, we have 3 surface charges. At x2 is negative 10 microcoulomb per meter squared. At y is 20 microcoulomb per meter squared, and at y equals to negative 3, and at z equals to 5, it is 30 microcoulomb per meter squared. We will need to determine the vector E at 3 points, which is E at 5, negative 1, 6, R1 -2 1 and Q3 -4 4. In order to find the vector E for each of the points, we would need to find the magnitude for each axis by using the equation vector E equals to rho S, rho surface, over 2 epsilon 0 unit vector n, which n refers to either the axis x, y, or z. So for axis x, it is -10 micro over 2 epsilon 0. Unit vector x equals to -0.565 megavolt meter, and vector EY is equals to 20 micro over 2 epsilon 0, which is equals to 1.129 megavolt over meter. And at axis x, it is 30 micro over 2 epsilon 0, which is equals to 1.694 megavolt per meter. Next, we will need to find the electrical field vector for each of the points P, R, and Q. Its coordinate, the points coordinates are not needed in order to find a magnitude, since we already find earlier, but it is needed to find the direction in relation to its x and y and z, comparing it to the surface charges. If it is more than the surface charge, the direction will be positive, and it is less than the surface charge, the position of the surface charge, it will be negative. For example, at point P, which is 5, -1, 6, its x-axis is at 5, which is more than 2. Thus, the unit vector x would be positive. Meanwhile, y is -1, which is more than -3, making its y-axis becoming positive. Same as z, which is more than 6, which is more than 5, making its unit vector z is positive. Thus, the vector E is equals to, we can just insert the magnitude we find earlier, which is -0.565 unit vector x plus 1.129 unit vector y and 1.694 unit vector z megavolt per meter. Same as point R, same procedure we use, which is x, which is 1, which is less than 2, thus making the unit vector x is negative. Meanwhile, its y is -2, which is more than -3, making the unit vector y becoming positive, while z is 1, which is less than 5, making the unit vector z becoming negative. Thus, the vector E is equals to 0.565 unit vector x plus 1.129 unit vector y and minus 1.694 unit vector z megavolt per meter. And then for point Q, which is 3, -4, 4, at x, 3 is more than 2, thus making its unit vector x positive, while y, -4, which is less than -3, which makes its unit vector y negative. Meanwhile, z, 4 is less than 5, which makes its unit vector z negative. And thus, the vector E is equals to -0.565 unit vector x minus 1.129 unit vector y minus 1.694 unit vector z megavolt per meter. Next, we'll be solving question 9, which has given us an annular disk of inner radius A and outer radius B is placed on the YZ plane and centered at the origin. If the disk carries uniform charge with density rho s, find vector E at k0, 0. So in order to solve this equation, we will need to use Coulomb's law for surface charge, which is vector E equals to the integration of rho s ds over 4 pi epsilon 0 r times unit vector r. In this case, ds is equals to rho d rho d phi, with the limits for rho is between a, the inner radius, and b, the outer radius, while the limits for phi, since it is a full circle, it is between 0 and 2 pi. And now in order to proceed, we have to assume x exists, replacing the role of z axis in the cylindrical coordinate system. So it will not be unit vector z, but unit vector x for in order for us to proceed. And then we will need to find vector r. Need to find vector r, which is the observation point minus the initial point. The observation point is the point k00, and the initial point is the surface charge. But we have to use cylindrical coordinate system, so our OP is 0 phi k. Since it is a point on x-axis, it doesn't have any radius, so the radius is 0, the rho is 0, and then it is a point, and it encircles the whole circle. We can assume that one point is encircling the whole circle, so phi is phi, and then its x is k, so its coordinates is 0 phi k. And then minus IP, which is the surface charge, the annular disk, and so it is rho phi 0. Rho, since it has limits for rho, and since it has limits for phi, it is phi. The phi remains, but it doesn't have any, since it doesn't have any values for x, since it is placed on the YZ plane, which makes x equals to 0. So 0 phi k minus rho phi 0, which is equals to rho unit vector rho plus k unit vector x. And then, in order to proceed, we will have to find magnitude r, which is equals to square root of rho squared plus k squared. And then we will need to find unit vector r, which is the vector of r over the magnitude of r, which is equals to rho unit vector rho plus k unit vector x over square root of rho squared plus k squared. And we need to find vector e with Coulomb's law. Thus, we will need to integrate rho s times rho d phi, which is ds, over 4 pi epsilon 0 square root of rho squared plus k squared to the power of 2 times the unit vector r we found it earlier. And then now we need to remember that for surface charge, unit vector rho is equals to 0, since the charges between two points opposite to each other with equal radius will cancel out. Thus, this makes rho unit vector rho equals to 0, and then we will get rho s k divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 times the integration of d phi with limit 0 to 2 pi times the integration of rho d rho over rho squared plus k squared to the power of 3 over 2 unit vector x with limits of a to b. And then we integrate the parts of d rho, then we get negative 1 over square root of rho squared plus k squared from a to b times, of course, times unit vector x, which we get negative 1 over square root of b squared plus k squared plus 1 over square root of a squared plus k squared times unit vector x. And then we integrate d phi, which we will get 2 pi, and then we simplify the question. Then we get our final answer, which is rho s k over 2 pi epsilon 0 times 1 over square root of a squared plus k squared minus 1 over square root of b squared plus k squared times unit vector x. That is our final answer. And finally, we will solve for question 10, which revolves around principle of superposition. Question 8 states that we need to calculate the electric field intensity vector E at point P234 in free space due to three charges distributions. Point charge of Q1 equals to 8 microcoulomb located at 1, -1, 2. A uniform line charge density rho L equals to 150 nanocoulomb per meter distributed along the y-axis. A uniformly charged sheet with charge density rho S equals to 30 nanocoulomb per meter squared over the plane x equals to 3. Calculate the electric field intensity, vector E, contribution from each distribution of at point P, then apply superposition to determine the combined electric field intensity, vector E at P. So, this requires us to understand the principle of superposition, which states that the total electric field at any point in space generated by multiple charged particles is the vector sum of the individual electric fields produced by each charge independently. So to put it uh, simply, the total of electric field density is equals to each of the charge individually. Yes, the total of each of the charge individually. So vector E total is equals to vector E point plus vector E line plus vector E surface. This means that we have to solve for each of the charges before we total it up. So firstly, we have to find for the charge, the electric field intensity for the point charge. So we need to find vector E point, which is equals to Q over 4 pi epsilon 0 r squared times unit vector R, and Q is equals to 8 microcoulomb. And then we have to do the usual. We have to find the vector of R, which is 4 unit vector x, no, which is equals to unit vector x plus 4 unit vector y plus 2 unit vector z, and then we have to find magnitude of r, which is square root of 21, and then you have to find unit vector r, which is, as we know, the vector r over magnitude of r, which is unit vector x plus 4 unit vector y plus 2 unit vector z over square root of 21. And then we will have to find insert it. We have to insert it into the equation vector E point, which is 8 micro over 4 pi epsilon 0 square root of 21 to the power of 2 times unit vector R, which is equals to 0.747 unit vector x plus 2.989 unit vector y plus 1.494 unit vector z kilovolt per meter. And next, after we solve for vector E point, and then we need to find the electric field intensity for the line charge, which is simplified as vector E line. Then we need to use the equation, rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon 0 rho times unit vector rho, with rho L equals to 150 nanocoulomb per meter. Then we need to proceed. In order to proceed, we have to find, of course, as usual, we have to find vector rho and then the magnitude of rho. And with those two, we can find the unit vector rho, which is 2 unit vector x plus 4 unit vector z divided by square root of 20. And then we insert that into the equation earlier. Then we get 150 nano over 2 pi epsilon 0 times the square root of 20 times 2 unit vector x plus 4 unit vector z over square root of 20, and then we will get 0.27 unit vector x plus 0.539 unit vector z kilovolt per meter. After that, we will find the electric intensity, electric field intensity for the surface charge, which is rho s over 2 epsilon 0 times unit vector n, which and unit vector n is represented by unit vector x, is because the surface charge is at the x-axis. And then so the only value we need to be concerned of is the value x from point P in order to find the direction of the unit vector x. Since x is equals to 2 is less than the position of the surface charge, which is x at x equals to 3, thus the unit vector x is turned into negative. And thus we can get the vector E surface, which is equals to 30 nano over 2 epsilon 0 times negative unit vector x, which is equals to negative 1.694 unit vector x kilovolt per meter. And then after we got all three electric field charge, and we can total it up as per the principle of superposition, and then we will get the vector E total, which is equals to negative 0.677 unit vector x plus 2.989 unit vector y plus 2.033 unit vector z kilovolt per meter. Thank you.